I mean, as long as I get all the videos done before Endgame, everything should be okay, right? Welcome back to the Fav41 for 2018. Yeah, you remember that year? It was a while ago now. Thank you for your patience as I get these out. My name's Aaron Dicer for SiftPop.com, and just counting down my personal favorites of the year. We've already gone from 41 to 21. We've just got the top 20 left. Today we're going to be covering number 20 through number 11. Now again, these are my favorite movies of the year, and actually I kind of like that this has taken as much time as it has because you have different opportunities to see these movies now. So if you see a movie on the list that you think might be interesting, you can go check it out. But let's get into it with number 20. Yeah, and at number 20, I liked Vice. I thought it was good. Not super great like those in the top 10 will be, but this is a really good movie. Now, a lot of the attention, rightfully so, is on Christian Bale's performance as Dick Cheney, which is insanely transformational. Also, some good attention on Sam Rockwell as W, which I think is great as well. But I think in order to understand if you're going to enjoy this movie or not, or as much as I did, you have to understand how you feel about Adam McKay's way of taking a story and presenting a surrealistic morality tale. And that's what he's doing here. And I bought in. I enjoyed the ways he took common storytelling tropes and turned them on their head and got ridiculous in a few ways. I can see how it might be eye-rolling to some, but for me, I enjoyed the journey of seeing his view, his perspective, his bias on everything that is going on here. And I'm not saying I disagree with him or agree with him. What I'm saying is he is very clear about, I'm telling a true story from my perspective, especially one like this where he even admits there's not a lot written down from the inside about it. Having said that, you're still on a really interesting journey because of the risks that he's taking, and I loved it. Speaking of guys who like doing their own thing, let's talk about the Coen brothers. Now, I'm a Coen brothers fan. I love their quirky sense of humor and the way they interplay it in their stories. And Ballad of Buster Scruggs is another great example of them doing that several times throughout with several different stories. I think this is a good movie based on just the story material. Some of these are excellent to great. Some of them are good to great. Some of them are okay to good. None of them are awful, and that's saying something. But this becomes a great movie when you finally see the through line of what they're saying about humanity, violence, and death. And once you kind of connect those dots, at least for me personally, connecting those dots metaphorically, allegorically, in this movie was when it became something really special to me. Plenty of standout performances here, plenty of standout moments here. I think the miner mining for gold is one of the simplest, most engaging, and most interesting stories that I've seen, especially on the layer, when you layer like the Coens' experience in making movies and having original ideas and having them taken by others. Like all that stuff here is beautiful to me, and it adds up to one of the most engaging and rewatchable things I've seen all year. On the maybe not so rewatchable side, at number 18, it is The Tale. This is a tough one to get through, but so important with the things it explores. At the center of this is an HBO movie, by the way, which you may not have heard of, but it definitely is worth ranking here in the movies of the year, and one I definitely want to bring to your attention if you haven't heard of it. Laura Dern is playing this woman who is kind of unintentionally reinvestigating a relationship with an older man she had when she was a child. In her mind, it had always been, she was an older adolescent. She just kind of wrote it off. But then she starts seeing pictures and moments from that time and realizing how young she was. So this movie is dealing with child abuse, and it is difficult because it's not shy about, I don't want to give the impression that it's graphic, but the idea is graphic enough, if that makes sense, that this is a difficult watch. It's so powerful. And Jennifer Fox, who wrote it, experienced this. This is her story. And to personally put her story on the screen like this, she wrote the screenplay as well, is so admirable, so beautiful, and just a testament to what happens when human beings are willing to be honest and open about their experiences. It's fascinating, it's devastating, and it's one of the best movies of the year. In at number 17, it's Annihilation, Alex Garland's follow-up to Ex Machina, a movie that was amazing and really a great follow-up. I love this movie, obviously. It reminds me of one of those movies that you just come out of and you have to ask questions. You have to have people to decompress with. Jordan Peele's Us is like this as well, where you just want as many people who've seen the movie to sit in a room and talk about what things mean and what the metaphor is and what do you think this scene meant and is this, what happened here? Does that make sense? Oh, maybe it makes sense because of this. Oh, what have you thought about this theory? This is that kind of movie, and for me, it was a great experience because I found so much meaning in it. It also has wonderful performances. Natalie Portman is great in it. Jennifer Jason Leigh is great in it. These women down the line are doing amazing work. Some of the scenes are absolutely terrifying and beautiful at the same time. That is maybe Alex Garland's calling card at this point, to have something so pristine and beautiful be so deadly and violent, and what it's saying about ourselves, what it's saying about creativity. All these things are fascinating to me. I have rewatched that final, let's just call it a dance scene, the final dance scene, several times just to kind of get, not only to bask in the amazingness that it is, but to try to figure out what's being said here on a detailed level. I loved Annihilation. I still love thinking about Annihilation. Definitely one of my favorites last year. In at number 16, another one of the movies that I think was much better at dealing with race issues in America today than Green Book. Yes, I know it took place before, but still it's to an audience today. Blindspotting. I think Blindspotting is a genius movie because of many things, but one thing in particular, the way it uses Daveed Diggs' gifts and talents for not only acting, which he's great at, but also in the area of verse and rapping, and how it integrates that into the story, and how it plays a scene in almost rap battle fashion, but with the stakes of some of the most intense scenes in the history of cinema, is not something that should work, and yet it does. It is brilliant filmmaking going on here. I was engaged throughout into his story, into what he's going through. Again, it deals with issues of race in America, police brutality, those kind of things that I think a lot of movies are content to be on the surface with. It's willing to dig a little bit deeper and make us think a little bit deeper and feel a little bit deeper. Blindspotting is a must-watch just for what's going on in the movie itself, and the performances are just beautiful icing on the cake. This is a good one. Yeah, number 15 is where I have Ralph Breaks the Internet. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, obviously. Now, I will say, when I made this list versus now, I might actually move this down a little bit. I've seen it a couple more times since then, see a few more of the flaws that are more bothersome to me. Having said all that, I still love it. I really do. I love these characters. I love this world. I love the fun of this world. I didn't think expanding it to the internet made sense or could work, but somehow I think they made it work. It's like the good version of the Emoji Movie, if that makes any sense. Certainly has things that I understand that people don't like about it, and I get and actually probably agree with. I just don't care. Like, I'm having such a good time with their relationship, and an even better time with the theme that it's presenting about what it means to be clingy in a relationship, what it means to be selfish in a relationship in a way that we don't talk about often. Often in movies, people who are selfish in relationships do it in the obvious ways. This is a non-obvious way that a lot of us are selfish in our relationships, and it's really interesting to see a cartoon, a Disney movie, get to something that's that nuanced and actually approach it in an interesting way. So that's why I love it. And of course, I love the princess scenes because that's just like fan service to the nth degree. It's like the biggest flex of Disney to be like, look at all the property that we own. It's like an IP flex. Never before seeing this movie, and it's just fun. I guess we can just continue on the Disney train. In at number 14, it's Mary Poppins Returns. I really enjoyed this. Now, I'm going to admit right off the bat, this is a lot of nostalgia for me. Mary Poppins is one of those movies I could put in as a kid and just sing all the songs and enjoy all the fantasy. The rooftop scene, even though it goes on forever, as a kid was one of the coolest things I had ever seen. The dancing with the animated penguins, Dick Van Dyke in general, which, by the way, this is a huge part of why I love this movie, and actually talking about Mary Poppins Returns instead of the original. Dick Van Dyke's in it, 2 years old when he shot this thing. I think he's 93 now. Still making movies, jumping up on a desk and doing a little soft shoe. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I don't even know if that was computer generated or what. And I don't care, because the nostalgia, cinematic adrenaline for me in those moments is just euphoric. And I can't come away not loving it. Lin-Manuel, I think, is really good in this. And of course, Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins is better than I could have ever imagined. She is perfect in taking over for Julie Andrews, who was perfect as Mary Poppins. What shoes to fill, and it's almost unbelievable that she actually fills them. And then there's the fantasy, which I love. I love all the different scenes where it's almost as if it was a checklist where they're like, okay, this one's kind of like the rooftop scene. We'll do, the Light Fantastic, or, whatever the case may be. And then there's a real heart in this, as there was in the original. There may actually be more heart in this one than the original, which I like. Means something to me. It's an overall great experience for me, and I can't wait to watch it again. In at number 13, the biggest surprise of the year for me, Game Night. What a great comedy! Please, Hollywood, if you learn one thing from 2018, make more movies like Game Night that just put funny people in interesting stories, in clever turns of plot, and also have somebody who wants to take the care to make a really good movie from top to bottom. This was one of my favorite experiences of the year. As, obvious, it being up this high. I wish I could put it in the top 10. There's just so much great this year. Game Night is a blast. Jason Bateman's always been one of my favorite comedic actors. He's doing great work here. The comedy around him is great here. But even more in that, the tilt shift shots that make the neighborhood look like a game board, the decisions that are being made and how the plot moves and develops, the intense, amazing chemistry and humor of Rachel McAdams, who is killing it here, is absolutely wonderful. And I just had such a great time with Game Night, and I definitely want more. Coming in at number 12, it's the highest rated horror film on my list for 2018. No, I'm just kidding. For a parent, though, especially a parent of a girl, which I am not, by the way, I have 4 boys, is 8th Grade could be considered a horror film. The modern adolescence process is mind-blowing to me, with social media, with the idea of at any point being able to make something you do public to the entirety of your peer group is just insane. And, mad props to this generation that continues to have to deal with that in such an elevated way, with already the elevations of adolescence and hormones and all those things. And 8th Grade just does it. Bo Burnham is so smart about what he's doing here in this script, so smart about his casting. Elsie Fisher is perfect because she looks like an 8th grader. The authenticity of this movie is so much better because of his casting choices, and I love that. And she's great. She does such a great job at portraying the reality of that situation. Is the movie a comedy? Is it funny? Yeah, it is. But more than that, it's meaningful and deep. And the father-daughter stuff in this, and the relationship, the growth and change of that relationship is some of the most authentic humanity I've seen in a movie this year. It's top-notch stuff. If you haven't seen it somehow, definitely check it out. And we're down to number 11. This is the last one for this video, and it's a good one. Won't You Be My Neighbor? A year of documentaries, and this was one of the best. Fred Rogers, I'm glad is getting the attention he's getting. I think a lot of times, and by the way, I think this is rightfully so, but our culture will look at, let's just say squeaky clean individuals and say, there must be something under the surface there. There must be something going on there. And as somebody who's been accused of being one of those squeaky clean individuals, let me just say, there's not always that level of darkness going on behind the scenes in our life. And what I love about the exploration of Mr. Rogers is everybody comes away going, yeah, that's who he was. Yeah, that's who he was in private. That's who he was in public. That's who he was on TV. And just the idea that as human beings, we could just be nice to each other, that our primary goal could be to edify each other, could be to encourage each other, could be to, help evolve and grow each other. That's so heartening to me. And it gives a nice little jolt of adrenaline to my optimism. And I love that because I love being optimistic. And Won't You Be My Neighbor is a wonderful exploration of that optimism and what it means, and well worth a watch. Well, there you go. We got all the way through 20-11, just 10 more left to go, and hopefully that video will be out soon. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to check out more about what goes on at SiftPop.com, just go to the website. Lots of fun reviews, lots of fun feature articles we do there. I review a movie every week on video, do 5 things. Speaking of video, subscribe to the SiftPop YouTube channel. That's where you're going to get all the notifications. Make sure you ring that notification bell. And apparently now you actually have to push that you always want the notification bell rung. It seems like if you click the notification bell, that should be enough for YouTube to be like, hey, I'll always show you the videos. But no, you've got to go one step further, apparently. Anyways, if you want to see them all, that's what you do. And thank you for your subscription. It's much appreciated. And thank you for the support of SiftPop at the member page at Patreon, patreon.com/SiftPop. Lots of people there are giving $3 a month, $5 a month. We just did a video hangout for the month. Lots of fun. And some bonus stuff there that deals with the podcast, bonus podcast episodes every week. And if you're not listening to SiftPop Podcast, check that out as well. We have a great time talking movies there too. So lots of fun stuff with SiftPop, and we hope you're enjoying it all. And if you want to connect directly with me, Aaron Dicer, just hit me up on Twitter. @Aaron Dicer is the way to do that. So thank you so much. Appreciate support. Love you, and can't wait to tell you the top 10 movies of 2018. Like 4 months ago.